I'm glad to have you here. Quick question. Have you ever noticed your car isn't as powerful as it used to be? Drop a yes in the comment section if you've noticed it, or a no if your car is still running strong. This evening we're going to be looking at something a lot of car owners have faced in the course of having their vehicles. It's why do cars lose their power over time, and what can you do about it to restore the car back to its top shape? Okay, so in a few minutes we're just going to look at some reasons why cars lose their power over time, and as car owners, what can you do about it to fix it? All right, so I have some points written down here. We'll just go them step by step, and if you have any question, feel free to drop in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe and like, to encourage us also make quality content for you. So my name is Ebuka and this is Mr. Par.ng. We create good car content for you to help your car running like new. We help come up with good maintenance tips, things to help you with your cars. We noticed a worrying trend where a lot of the guys who repair these cars are not keeping up with the trend of what's happening, and we thought to help car owners also equip you with knowledge, equip you with a good idea of what's happening under the hood in your car, so that whenever you take your car for repairs, you're also on top of the game. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be looking at some of the reasons why cars lose their power over time. So sometimes you get this car, you step on the gas and the car feels like it's about to skip, about to jump and move, and after a while you notice you're no longer getting that sharp response. There are a couple of things we're going to be looking at that can contribute to make your car run slowly. All right, so just stay tuned and enjoy the show. All right, so I have a few points listed here on some of the reasons why cars lose their power over time. And number one on my list is dirty or clogged air filter. Dirty or clogged air filter. The air filter helps to clean up the air coming in from the surrounding to your engine. Hello, Mr. Ducky. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I'm good. Hope you're doing good too. Welcome. So one of the major reasons why car engines lose their power over time is a clogged or dirty air filter. Clogged or dirty air filter. So thank you, Mr. Snow VR. Hello, Mr. Snow. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, I'm glad. Yeah. Please, if you also have any question or you think I missed out some points, feel free to drop in the comment section, and I would really appreciate if you also subscribe. We just started up the YouTube channel and it's been hard growing the YouTube channel, but I believe that with time things will get easier. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. Some of you have never, maybe just saw us and pop up and you just thought to join in. Please, I'm so happy to have you on board. Please also feel free to hit the like button so that the algorithm can let more people know this live show is going on. So we're looking at some reasons why engines or why some cars lose their power over time. All right, so we're going to be just looking at, so I started out by saying the first one about how, number one reason on my list here, so I have some points I wrote down, but not in any particular order, but the first on my list is a dirty or clogged air filter. So a lot of people drive their cars and they go for the routine maintenance and forget to clean the air filter. The air filter is that protection for your engine from the environment. So you have air coming into your engine that mixes with fuel to burn. So the filter stands as a guard to stop debris, to stop the dirt from coming in. All right. So over time, the filter tends to accumulate a lot of dirt on its body. So when it gets clogged up, not enough air will be allowed to pass through. So this is the filter. It's a protection, and it keeps sieving the dirt. Over a while, the dirt will begin to mount up. So it's also advised to check your operator's manual. There's a recommended interval to change the air filter. If you drive in a very dusty place, maybe you do a lot of off-road, it's advised to check your filter more often. All right. So number one, dirty or clogged air filter. It can greatly affect your engine performance, so you would want to always check it. Sometimes they are covered up that you might need to use your screwdrivers to open them. Some easier cars will have these clips around them. You just need to unbolt the clips But for whatever your car is, try to check the air filter once in a while, especially when you go to do your servicing. So for some of you who change your oil once in a year, once in 6 months, or once in whenever, anytime you go to change your oil, please have a look at the air filter, all right? So that's the number one on my list. The number two is clogged fuel injectors. Clogged fuel injectors. So in the part of the world where I am, sometimes you get to buy fuel from the filling station and the fuel is dirty. Unfortunately, they bring in a lot of bad fuel here, and so we see a worrying trend in the workshop where a lot of the nozzles, the fuel injectors, are blocked up. Okay, so you want to check your fuel injectors maybe once in a year, once in 2 years, depending on your locality. If you're in a place where you have access to quality petrol, where you have premium petroleum, then this might not be a big headache for you. But we've seen issues where the fuel injectors were almost clogged up and they had to be serviced. All right, so that's the second reason why your cars can lose performance. So the nozzles, the injectors spray fuel into your cylinders. They spray it, they kind of atomize the fuel and spray it, very fine particle. So there's a pattern it must spray it. So whenever it's blocked, that pattern changes and your cylinder will probably be starved of fuel. Your brain box, or rather your ECU, has a way of adjusting the spraying. Okay, so most times if it's clogged, it will instruct it to turn on and stay on longer to compensate for the block. But sometimes the block can be too much that there just isn't enough to pass through. We've had issues where some cars were brought in and it kept misfiring. We checked the spark plugs, checked the ignition coil, and when we brought out the nozzles, oh boy, it was literally blocked. All right, so that's number one. Number two on my list here, why engine tend to lose power over time. Then number three on my list is worn out spark plugs. Worn out spark plugs. So the spark plugs are those guys. So the spark plugs helps to ignite the fuel. So fuel mixes with air, it's compressed. Then the spark plug lights up the combustion chamber. So when the spark plug works over time, it tends to wear out. So as it wears out, it might not be able to generate enough spark. Yes, Mr. Jemilet, hello, welcome on board, Mr. Energy FN. Please, I would like to know where you're also tuning in from in the comment section. It would be nice to know where you're tuning in from. All right, please feel free to let us know where you are watching us from. All right, and please also subscribe to our channel. Like I said, this is a new channel. We're trying to grow it. It will be encouraging. It will be nice if you just subscribe to support us. All right. Okay, and please feel free to hit the like button. I think the more like we get, the more YouTube lets other people know this live session is currently on. All right. So please feel free to hit the like button. Okay. Thank you. So number three on my list is the worn-out spark plugs. Here, so I explained what the spark plugs do, how it provides the spark to light things up in your engine. Without the spark plugs, your car will not be able to generate those sparks, to generate that combustion, that especially for those of us who use the internal combustion engine, the ICE. But for the electric cars, they don't use all this. But if you use a car that you have to buy petrol, then there's a spark plugs in your engine. So those spark plugs over time, they tend to begin to wear out. It has what is called an electrode, where the current jumps from. So over time, it begins to wear out. Some of them can go as far as 100,000 miles, especially the iridium spark plugs. But over time, they tend to wear out. So when they wear out so much, you wouldn't get as much spark in your engine, and therefore you will lose some power. All right. Excuse me. So that's one of the reason that your engine tends to lose power. So a litmus test, a very good, easy way to know if your spark plugs are beginning to wear out. But sometimes this is when the spark plug is really bad, when you have misfires. So you start your car and the engine just keeps stuttering. It means that you have a spark. So if it keeps stuttering, whether you rev the engine or not, you rev the engine, it's still shaky. You stop revving it, it's still shaking, then it's most likely a faulty spark plug. But whenever you rev the engine and it doesn't, and it becomes calm, it becomes steady, then it's likely not the spark plug, it's something else. Okay, so the spark plug is one of the reasons. Then the fourth on my list is a weak fuel pump. a weak fuel pump. Just like the other parts in your car, your fuel pump is always working. It has these coils and all around it. So over time, it tends to also lose its efficiency. So if the fuel pump begins to wear down, but one of the things I found out that affects the fuel pump most time is if you have a clogged fuel filter. So the fuel filter, so you have the fuel tank, the fuel pump is inside, the fuel pump sucks the fuel through the filter. The fuel has to go through the filter before it gets to the pump, then it sends it to the engine. So whenever the filter is dirty, the fuel filter is clogged or dirty, and you notice that the fuel pump will struggle to suck the fuel. All right. So yes, a weak pump can cause an engine loss, but also most times it's because of a dirty or clogged fuel filter. So before you run and change your fuel pump, it's best, or rather it's advised to look at the fuel filter also. If the fuel filter is okay, then it's likely a weak fuel pump. All right. Then the fifth on my list is a dirty filter, the dirty fuel filter. If we look at it properly, I think the fuel filter should even be way up the list. Apologies for that. Why? Because if you have a dirty injector, most likely it's because you have a dirty fuel filter. Remember, the fuel is coming from the tank, passes through the filter before it gets to the pump, and it sends it to the engine. And when it gets to the engine, it gets to the nozzles. So most times some people go and clean up the fuel nozzles and forget the fuel filter right inside the tank. So you want to start from the tank, which is the source, and that's the fuel filter. So that's fifth on my list, is a dirty or clogged fuel filter. Then the last but not the least on my list is carbon buildup in the engine. Yeah. So over the course of time, maybe some of you've had your car for over 5 years, 6 years, some even very rugged cars can go as much as even 15 years. I've known someone who has been using his car for over 15 years. So over a while, carbon tends to be built up in the engine. So most times not really your fault, but just because of how it has worked over time. So when the carbon builds up so much, it also reduces it also reduces the efficiency of your engine. All right. So in that case, you probably need to have your engine opened up and the top grinded and cleaned up and whatnot. All right. So that's also another reason why your engine may be losing its power. Carbon buildup. All right. So those are some of the few points I listed out. Please, if you think I missed out any point, please feel free to share in the comment section. Yes, sometimes the engine also loses its compression and all with worn out rings and the other part. Those are a bit complex, but for the basic ones that you can actually do something about, these are the few of the ones I listed out. So the first on my list was a dirty or clogged air filter, a clogged fuel injector, or you can call it the nozzles, worn out spark plugs. That's number 3 on the list. Number 4 was a weak fuel pump. Number 5 was a clogged or dirty fuel filter. All right. And then the last but not the least, number 6, was carbon buildup in the engine. When you have a lot of carbon buildup, it tends to also reduce the power of your engine. Okay. So what can you do about this point? So what can you do about it? What can you do in your own power to make sure this engine runs as long as possible and not drop in power? All right. So a few things I wrote down here. Routine maintenance. Please always look at your owner's manual. There are intervals. So every car has a recommended interval for changing stuff. Your engine oil has a recommended interval. Maybe I might use this opportunity to also say, please, those of you who would buy you buy those extended performance oils that can last a year, you have to be very careful. From a lot of our experience, we found out that some of these oils don't do well over a long period of time. All right. So I advise you stick to either 5,000 miles if you're using a full synthetic oil. Some of them say they can go as high as 10,000 miles, but we kind of strongly advise against that so that your engine can last as long as possible. Sometimes when you extend your service interval, your engine might not last as long as it should. Okay. I'm not trying to demarket any product or anyone, but just from little experience we've been able to gather, have a mile you set that when you get the milestone you get to, you service. So routine maintenance is very important. have a routine maintenance for your change of engine oil, for your checking your air filter, your even your fuel filter in the tank. Routine maintenance can help with all this. So even your spark plug, whenever you put in new spark plug, take a note of the mileage of your car so that you know when the next time to change it. All right. I know some very, very meticulous persons. They take note of the mileage when they've changed their oil. They take note of the mileage when they've changed their spark plugs. They take note of the mileage when they service their nozzles or major changes in the car, so that they know when it's due to change it. The last thing you want is for your car to stop you on the road or to get pulled over because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Okay, so yes, so some of those routine maintenance will help keep your car running as long as it should. All right, if you have any question, please feel free to drop in the comment section. All right, okay, like I promised, it was going to be a very short live session, and that's all. I'm done. Those are the few points I listed out. So we're looking at why do cars lose power over time. I don't know about you, but my car has lost power. There was a time my car was literally dragging on the road. To go up a hill was a struggle. So what I did was I did some diagnostics. I found out that my fuel trim was a bit off on the positive side. What it simply meant was that my car was running lean, meaning not enough fuel was getting through. So I looked at the fuel trim values and I figured out, okay, bring down. So I took my car to the workshop and had the fuel pump assembly brought out, and you needed to see the amount of dirt that was on the filter. All right, so I had the filters replaced and put back, and oh boy, my car felt like it was brand new. All right, so sometimes it can be from a clogged filter. I've also seen where leaky fuel injectors also were a big headache. We brought out the nozzles and found out that some of the seals, the O-ring had worn out, so the fuel was dripping from all over the place into the cylinder. All right, so these are some of the reasons why engines tend to lose. And sometimes if you can't figure it out, take it to a trusted professional and have them look over it. Okay, there's a way they can even do compression tests on your cylinders to see if your engine is still running within the recommended values. And if there's one of them that is off, they probably will dig right down in to figure out what's happening. Maybe you have a worn out piston or a worn out ring on your engine. All right, so the list goes on and on. So those are the few points we thought to bring out. Some of these points some of these reasons are quite simple, that if you just take your maintenance a bit seriously, you would enjoy your car for as long as possible. And when you're tired of the car, you put it up on the market for sale, you get very good value for it. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. In the absence of any other question, I will be signing out shortly. Once more, my name is Ebuka and welcome to Mr. Pat.ng. Please subscribe to our channel. All right, please subscribe. We just started out this channel about 3 weeks ago, or rather roughly a month ago, and we're trying to grow it. Okay, so the more you subscribe, the more it will help us get this stuff out there. One of the major reasons we started this was, especially in my locality, we found out that a lot of the repair guys are not studying, they are not following the trends of what's happening in the cars. So they keep using the knowledge of they learned 10, 15, 20 years ago on these new cars, and they are breaking, and the cars are breaking down. So we thought to start this channel to just also show you, or rather teach you some DIY tips, some things you could do to save money, some things you could do so that when you take your car to the dealership or to the repair guy, you also know what is wrong with your car. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Once more, I'll be signing out. It was nice having you for the few minutes that we were online. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and please once more subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.